Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X NGR Radio's Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Eddie V. As always, we have to throw up the X. Yes, because we are about to throw down. Joining me on this episode is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
Yes. Unfortunately, Boss Man wasn't able to make it. He has a lot of responsibilities to do and handle, so he's taking another break for this episode. But today's going to be an open episode. So what the plan is that we're not doing an Arsenal, not really an Arsenal exchange or any Arsenal news or what's been in the Arsenal. We're pretty much going to be talking about just three main points this episode. We're going to be discussing about the rumor that Microsoft might be bringing GamePass to Nintendo Switch. We're going to be giving impressions about Crackdown 3 and impressions about Anthem. So it might be a shorter show, but hopefully that you guys can enjoy it. We'll be having a regular show next week, but for right now, we're focusing just on those three main things. So if anyone watched Nintendo Plowback yesterday, me and Corey talked about the rumor that Microsoft might be putting Game Pass on Nintendo Switch and Project X Cloud. So I want to hand it over to Jesse to get his thoughts, because I know you probably have a lot to say about it, and I have thoughts too. And in this one, we're coming from the Microsoft side of things more than Nintendo. But go ahead, Jesse. What would happen if this rumor became true?
Okay, well, first off, I know I was gonna kind of tie this in with it. Now there's there's talk of them of actually bringing some of the games to Switch, in the actual store. Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna be physical, but you'd actually be able to play Cuphead and Ori and stuff. You buy it in the Nintendo store. So that's kind of I kind of look at that as being something that we've been talking about that for a long time, that we think that yes, that was going to happen. So that would be awesome. But as far as the Game Pass stuff goes, that would make a really big deal, for both of them. I feel like it would be great for people who people who own an Xbox. It will be great for them because they'll have a place that they can play their games handheld. But at the same time, it's great for Nintendo because there may be some people who have an Xbox that didn't get a Switch yet, but because now you can play that stuff on the Switch, that might be the thing that pushes them over to why they need to buy a Switch. So now I feel like that could actually boost sales of the Switch, for people who would like to play the Xbox games handheld. And since Xbox doesn't really have that option, other than if you have a laptop or something, that's the closest really you can get. But so I think it would be a big deal for Nintendo and help them with sales. But for as far as Xbox goes, it just being able to have, for the people who already have a Switch, being able to have that option to play games on the go, or just in your living room or wherever, if you don't want to be in your house somewhere where you can't necessarily go and sit at the console at a TV because you're trying to do something else or whatever. And you're no longer tethered to your TV anymore because of having that option on the Switch to play games there. So I think it's a big deal. Corey, a lot of the times, a lot of his gaming is on the Switch because it's just easier for him to grab that and play that while he's taking care of the kid, or if he's sitting, with his wife, and they're kind of wanting to hang out, and he doesn't want to completely just be ignoring her. He wants to be able to do his thing, and spend time with her. Like a lot of times that, like, like we were talking about it a little bit, and he's like, man, if I could, like, have that option to be able to play like Anthem or whatever while I'm like sitting at the couch or whatever.
Well,
Like,
Anthem would be very questionable because of EA Origins.
Well, yeah, but it would if it's the Xbox, like, like we're talking like what this eventually would turn into is the Xbox Cloud app.
If EA Origins was able to, well, not EA Origins, if Anthem was just on Game Pass, I could see that. But I think EA controls most of their content, and so they would have to work something out with Nintendo with that. And I don't think EA is willing to do that. And that's why I said if Anthem was on Game Pass, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But until personally with Anthem, with what you're saying, I do understand what you mean, because I think Anthem would definitely be more visible. I think personally, if it was on Switch with EA Origins, if that happened, because everybody would be like, yes, we know this is a game that this needs a server online, but if I'm at McDonald's and I could hop on their server and we're eating good food and playing and be able to play Anthem, dude, that would be the kind of almost the best way. You could still stream it. You don't have to like download it to the system or anything.
Yeah.
But if you could just straight stream it, I think more people will be able to play that game on the go. Playing it with the Pro Controller, with the Joy-Cons and stuff. Like, just think about flying with the Joy-Cons and the HD Rumble. Like, that would be cool.
I think what we're like, what I'm like, we are kind of like talking about it, like me and Corey, is like, if they actually like do it though, where the thing where it's kind of like where it turns your Switch into basically like your laptop, like how you can actually stream whatever you want to play from your Xbox to your laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you can play it on your computer but it's actually playing it from your Xbox.
The remote play.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of hoping that they add in, so you can actually play any game that you own on your Switch at home. You'd be able to play it to remote play it on there.
The problem with that is that if you don't own an Xbox, you won't be able to have that function. And I get what you. I get.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But all the other stuff will be on there.
I get what you're
like
saying.
all the Game Pass stuff.
I was telling Corey that it's kind of like the Netflix, or I just actually use a Hulu thing. If I'm playing Hulu on PlayStation and I'm going to the bathroom and I want to continue from where I left off, I pick up my Switch and carry it to the bathroom and continue on. I understand remote play is that your system is on at home or whatever, but it's signaling is giving your, like the PS Vita, it's giving that system a signal to play that PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3 game while you're on the go. If you're connected to an internet server, I could see happening. That was the idea, but I think it's because if you don't own an Xbox or anything, or you don't own any games on Windows 10, if you just own Game Pass on Switch, that function would be something that a lot of people would be missing out. Because you would.
The thing is, though, you've got to remember the X Cloud. If that's what they're putting on the Switch, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But you would. If you want to do remote play, you're going to have an Xbox
Yeah.
on game
Yeah,
with Game Pass, or you're gonna have
but
to have Windows 10 with Game Pass. It's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah,
You're going to have an Xbox Live. So you're gonna have the Xbox Live, of course, but you're gonna have some kind of hardware in order for that to happen, for it to
yeah, yeah.
send it to Switch. So
But
and that's
the thing is though, like with the whole the X Cloud thing,
mhm.
you wouldn't technically even need to do the remote play because with the whole X Cloud thing, the whole point of it is, and if they're putting X Cloud on the Switch, if that's the function they're going to be using,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter what EA wants or what EA says because if you own the game, you're playing like the whole point of xCloud is whatever game that you own that you've bought on your Xbox, you can play from the cloud. And so the whole point is you can play whatever
But
games you
that's
own, you
but
can
that's
play them on any device.
but that's the thing about it is that uh if the thing about it is if you don't own like I said, if you don't own Windows 10 or Xbox, that's going to be a problem for Switch owners if Microsoft is not selling those games on Switch, because don't forget, Game Pass is feels like a rental in that space. But if you want the game, you could buy it. So if buying it digitally, yes. If if Switch was connected also to Windows 10 with Game Pass, and you could buy stuff off of Windows 10, like let's say Forza Horizon 4. If you could buy that
Yeah.
off of Windows 10 from Game Pass, then your Switch could recognize it and be like, yeah, you own this game or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it would just be like basically all they would have to do is do it. There's already multiple services out there that you can get right now. You can go on your smartphone and you can download an app that you pay like $14 a month and it literally has like Netflix all
Mhm.
these games that are included with that service that you can play like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or like Anthem or all the new games, like all those things you can play right off your phone with this service. But then there's also a section of all the games that you have to buy separately that
Mhm.
aren't included with the service, but you still need the service in order to be able to play those games online.
And see, and
So
that's the thing.
so so
It,
like
it,
if they were to do that with the Xbox, where you basically if you don't own an Xbox or don't own Microsoft the Windows 10, you would have to pay for the monthly Xbox Live service. But then once you did that, any games you could buy in the app and actually play them through the Switch.
but see the problem with that is that Microsoft would be setting up a store on Nintendo Switch, in a
Yeah,
sense, and Nintendo kind of
but it would be in the
in
app.
in the eye of Nintendo, Nintendo doesn't want that to happen because they already have eShop and they already offer games that you could buy. Game Pass for on Switch for Nintendo is just that you have this option to play these games, and that's only what you're supposed to do with them. It's only play them. Nothing with buying, nothing with returning them or anything. It's on Switch for you to play. And that's all. You get the service and you play them. If you actually want these games, you have to have an actual Xbox or Windows 10. We're only streaming it. So there's nothing else about it. If Nintendo is looking at it that way, yes, you could bring Game Pass, you could bring Xbox Live, but it's only for you to stream or connect to your friends. If you want to you cannot have a store on our system because we already have a store. If you own Windows 10, which everybody pretty much I think does on Windows 10, you could buy stuff there, and that's it. If you want to play the game from Microsoft perspective, So Nintendo probably would be like very cautious and stuff. Don't get me wrong, that would be a good idea to have an app like that to support it. But coming from Nintendo's eyes, they they're cool with the competition. They're cool with working with Microsoft, but they cannot have two stores, or they don't want two stores on their system that does that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they would get a cut. They would get a cut of
They would, yeah,
anything bought too, but
right. Because I think
oh,
they would get, a cut of having Game Pass on there, uh, and probably depending on what they want to do with Xbox Live, they can also get a cut of that too. If Nintendo wants to, if Nintendo or Microsoft work out some plan that way.
yeah,
Um,
which I think is what they would probably
Would
do.
Yeah, because I think it, to me personally, I think, and this may sound weird. I said $90, but I think I'm gonna lower it down. I think $80 for a complete package would work. And this complete package is $20 for Nintendo Online, $60 for Xbox Live, no, $50 for Xbox Live, and $10 for 3 months of Game Pass. And
Hmm.
then if you want to keep it, bam, you'll be like, okay, I want to keep Game Pass. My 3 months is up. I want to keep Game Pass, or something like that.
Hmm.
Like make it worthwhile for the Nintendo player to be like, okay, because what's going to happen is that people are going to stop playing Nintendo online stuff and play more Xbox, more Game Pass stuff, which is fine. They have that option, but in order to have even Xbox Live running on Switch, you need Nintendo Online, and we're only
Hmm.
$20. So what's going
Hmm.
to happen is that Nintendo's going to try to improve it. They're going to still put NES games out. Once maybe Super Nintendo or GameCube or whatever they start putting out and all their functionality start coming out, then you're going to be able to have the best of both worlds. Nintendo first party for Microsoft, second party for both companies, third party, uh, and what because with Game Pass, you have to go by what is on that store system, on that store.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you want to play Anthem, that's fine. But if EA yanks Anthem, you're out of luck. You're gonna have to get a PC or another system in order to play it.
That's a
So
that's a good transition into talking about Anthem.
yeah, so uh, so I understand where you come from, and we're going to jump into this discussion about Anthem and Crackdown. I understand what you're talking about, and trust me, like I agree with you with a lot of things, and like pretty much, me and Corey was agreeing with a lot of things. It's just that it's going to be interesting to see for GDC. GDC is going to be the thing to watch to see what happens and how all of this works if it becomes true. So hopefully you can
Hmm.
watch it with us, Jesse, or we could do a watch along or something. Because I'm really interested to see what Microsoft is going to say and do.
When is it?
I think it's March 17th.
Okay.
For it. I don't have an actual date when Microsoft is going on. But I can look, and if you guys want to check it out on our Xbox Facebook group. And I'll tell a little bit more about that at the end. But we're gonna get into this next section. So you want to start with Anthem or Crackdown?
Oh, we could start with Anthem.
Okay, let's get into Anthem. So, Anthem is officially out for PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Um, they have patched it twice. They sent out the second patch Saturday morning, so which was like 4 gigs. So the game is up and out, and various opinions are coming for this game. Some people like it, some people wish they never brought it. Some people are kind of like, yeah, it's not all that, but I'm having fun. Like they're in the middle. Um, I want to get your opinion. Where do you reside on this game?
Well, I this is the way I look at it. If you compare it to like Destiny, the first Destiny, or any other games that are very similar to it, I would argue that like as far as like the content and the because like if you want to hear a little bit another like a in-depth talk about this, we actually talked about it on Javelins for Hire,
Mhm.
uh, and so that should be available this week, probably actually before this comes out. But yeah, we like the thing is like me and Corey both kind of agreed that this game already has way more stuff to it and way more promise, and they've already got a roadmap that's out of all the content that's going to be coming out within the
The 90
next.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff that's coming. They've got a lot of stuff coming out, and so like as far as that stuff goes, I feel like they're doing a lot better than like even Destiny was when it first started. So like, so if people want to criticize it and and didn't have any issue with Destiny, well then that's kind of just invalid.
It's one of it's not really invalid in a sense. It's the thing is that it's a lukewarm response
Yeah.
because
But it's people that are expecting way more than what it
it's
what's a reasonable
mhm.
thing to expect from this type of game,
Well, I
because
think I
at
think
this point you need to understand that this is the way these kind of games work. They don't release everything all at once because it's just like it just takes too long to try to like, because I was talking with Corey, like
mhm.
the way that world is built, I can guarantee you that like 80% of the time that they spent on making that game was based around trying to like do all the world building and the intricacies of that world, and like that world is so detailed, and like so there's so much going on in that world, and and the whole idea of like most games when you play them, they're like the worlds are built just kind of like a flat, long, like long, flat worlds. Whereas this is like not only kind of a bigger world, but it's built vertically. Like there's so much stuff going on vertically and underwater, underground. Like it's like the way that world is built is so much
It's
more bigger and much more like time
what
consuming than just your regular world that
what
you just throw plants and stuff on
what
and
this is the
have
thing.
so flat.
This is the thing. I don't think it's with the world building. I think it deals with, and this is the kind of the problem that happened also with Destiny, is that people place high expectations for companies that have delivered uh highly uh high quality and lovable games. Like people, these games have made people fans of that company. And when you don't get a lot of news, when you don't get a lot of definitely in this modern age, when you don't get a lot of playtime with the game, whether you give the impression of what you're going to be doing in the beta or alpha or demo or whatever, when you don't say much about the game, that raises the expectation of of a game. And if that game doesn't deliver on its kind of like just delivers and meet somebody's expectations, then they're going to give their viewpoint.
Yeah.
The problem with Destiny is that when people actually recognize what you are doing in Destiny, it was kind of a letdown to them. And what people play of Anthem with the PC release, And I think that may be one of the factors people feel lukewarm about it, is because of people who have Premiere who played the whole game on the PC, and even with reviewers, that it's not enough there to convince them if they want to play. It's something that they recognize, that the problem that happened with Destiny is happening with Anthem. And yes, I understand over time you're going to get a lot of content. You're not going to have as much content when this game releases. But I think what Anthem was announced 2016, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It was announced 2016 at E3. And I think it got delayed to at some time, right? Or they just announced it and never said nothing until that following E3. I think, because I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what happened with Destiny, is that they showed that Bungie was bringing Destiny. They created Destiny, and that was it. It was like a logo kind of thing. And then I think I'm assuming following E3, that video gameplay that Corey showed sent out to us. I think that was probably following year, and then it just felt like the game came out. So, but Anthem did something better than what Destiny did. Like Destiny didn't have a demo; it just came out, be like, it's Destiny by Bungie. That's it. Have fun. The game is out, and I think EA and BioWare, or really pretty much BioWare, was given more of an idea with the alpha and beta. Um, I think they just did it too late. Um, did it too late in the fact that they was doing it close to where the game was releasing. Um, and I think if they would have did it earlier, they probably would have had a better response. But a lot of people are having fun with it. You know, even though it's getting a lukewarm response, people are just like, yeah, it's not up to snuff, but I am enjoying the gameplay and the fights. And I think that's what's winning people over, is the gameplay, and the maneuvering around, the special effects, getting your javelin up and making them feel like, yeah, we are doing RPG elements, but it's rewarding that we're doing.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is my thoughts on it. Like the game itself, like me and Corey also talked about